Hello and good morning, Mr. Lumbly.
Good morning, Jose. How are you?
Oh my God, the accent comes out nice and thick, my friend. You're a really good actor. You're really good.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man. And it's early too, so I'm just warming up, Jose.
Love it, love it, love it. Jamaican background. How is it being one of the few islanders out there on the scene?
Oh man, I'm just proud. I'm obviously, like all of us, I live for myself, but I live for my parents. My parents made a move at a time when it probably seemed unlikely that it was going to be easy. When they got here, they discovered certain things about this America that had not been a part of the word put out in the world about the ideals. But they also discovered good people, and they had within them what I consider superheroism, and I'm only here because of them. The fact that they came from an island where you can't always get what you want, to a land where everything is kind of laid out for you, but you have to be careful and you have to make choices and you have to be judicious about what you say you want, and you have to be unstoppable. You have to be brave. They accomplished so much more than I have accomplished, but I get to stand on their shoulders and with them in my heart in everything I do. So it feels wonderful. It feels really, really wonderful. And if anything speaks to what I think is important about the island mentality, it's that your family is key.
That's true for every Antillian. We all have a couple of things in common: the sun, lack of resources, and colonization. So,
oh yes, and also making something from nothing, or making something different from something that was never supposed to be purposed in that way. It's one of the things I love. People, see something that's bright and shiny, and then they take two pieces of wood and a couple of old wheels, and they've got a car.
The ingenuity of people.
It.
I mean, it brings the best out of all of us. I had to dig really hard in your resume because it refuses to let me know when you first got started. So I finally found that in 1979, you played a prisoner in Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood.
Yes, that's right. I still remember every line.
Tell me a little bit about how you land that role and what has that meant for you in your career.
It was in the days when they had what they used to call cattle calls. I was one of an assortment of actors who got called to come audition for this role, and it was one line. And so the audition process was short, and at the end of it, they said, "Okay, the line is yours." And then I had my first experience. We were shooting on Alcatraz Island, off San Francisco, and every morning we'd go out on the boat, and I was playing a prisoner, so I'd get into my prison gear and my prison garb with all these other actors, and then we went into the yard, and scenes would happen around us, and I was a part of that. And when my time came, it was Clint Eastwood who was walking, going somewhere else to go talk to someone else, but my character was on guard, and the line was, "Where are you going, Cracker?"
Wow.
It's like it was yesterday, Jose. It just came flooding back like that.
Mind you, that was 46 years ago. Good Lord.
Yes, that's right.
And then here you go, come full circle, and you're playing a prisoner in The Winter Soldier. So, but what's the difference in between there and now? I mean, it's 46 years difference, but you still play a prisoner in one way or another.
Yeah, in fortunately there's been some stuff that went on in between those two. So but it's yeah, I suppose it's coming full circle, but it's no different. It is not simply because it's playing another prisoner, but also because the passion I had for it in the beginning and my desire to learn more about it never changed. So I feel like I'm still the student I was back then. Let's just say a few decades instead of 46 years. It feels so. It feels so weighty. But that's it. I always loved it. I love stories. I love words. I was a library nerd. I spent most of my time reading books, not comic books. My parents didn't allow me to read comic books. They said it wasn't literature. But I have come to take a turn on that because I think part of what literature is supposed to do is to share a story. And if it's sharing a story on whatever level you are, and you're connected to that story, then it's working. I know that there was a time some years ago where I heard an opinion voiced by some traditionalists that Marvel movies weren't really movies and that they were, somehow cheating. And I think that's only because people didn't understand that Marvel movies were cutting directly to something. They were marrying visual images with not a fantastic amount of text, but enough so that people could follow not only the story from their ears, but the story from their heart. What you're seeing is what goes directly to your heart. So I'm still enthralled, still learning, still trying to make sense of myself so that I can make sense of characters.
You actually got to play a superhero in your career, right? Mantis?
Yes, Mantis.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about how important it is for little young men of color to see a African American or men of color as a superhero?
Well, I think it's very important because it opens the world. I think there are many mechanisms and, in fact, many people who encourage people to shut down their world, to quote unquote stay in your lane, to minimize yourself so that you make space for others. And I don't think that's the way it works. I think what has been gratifying for me is when I played Mantis, young men my age, older men who came up and said that they really appreciated seeing themselves reflected in the character that I was doing. So I think that's how I began to think of it and how I think of it to this day. I'm representing something. I'm representing people who I haven't met, people of color, people in the majority population, people who are my gender, who are not my gender. I may even be representing extraterrestrials. I'm never always certain, but it's about what people connect to in me. So if I'm open enough and I'm a vessel, then whatever that text is as it pours through me, it can be accessible to somebody watching it. And that the vessel used to be always the same. And I think the beauty of this world is there's so many different vessels now who we can get information from and see ourselves reflected and feel our connection.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. A storied career from the Jeffersons, Taxis, 150 roles plus. I did my homework, my friend. And yes, now you can, the overnight success known as Carl Lumbly, right. Captain America, Brave New World.
Okay. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too, man. Bye.